Hello, MB Timers. I am your friendly neighborhood INFP, and there is some construction happening into what is to become a kind of studio slash computer room, which is only fitting. Only fitting because today we are talking about the ISTP. ISTPs are something I'm a little familiar with, what with my dad being one, and they have a multitude of interesting things going for them. ISTPs are generally people who enjoy taking things apart, not for like just the sake of taking things apart and seeing like what happens when they take things apart, but so that they can see what it is that they have in their hand and how to put it back together. They want to know how it works, how it's put together, how it functions, how it's built, how it's made, how to improve it, how to make another one from scratch. They are very crafty people in more ways than one. Now, granted, a lot of people do see them as very broody and alone in the dark, looking serious and but that is, I'm sure, only just a teenage romance dream in which they have set those aspects of the ISTP on. ISTPs are a multitude of different people who are very handsy people. Like, they cannot, much like the ESTP and other sensors like ISFPs and ESFPs, they cannot keep their hands off of things. If they see something interesting, they will want to play with it. And by play with it, I mean reverse engineer it most likely. This is why you get many ISTPs that are said to be mechanics, engineers, builders, construction workers, carpenters, woodworkers, because not all carpenters are woodworkers. Because, or ice carvers, wood carvers, stone carvers, anything that they can use their hands on, they will typically want to do so. Mostly because of their need to understand it in a five senses kind of way, a little similar to how the ISFPs function. They have a innate desire to understand the patterns and logical consistencies and ways things work and how to put it together. And this is kind of where they are similar to INTPs, but INTPs will not be as hands-on as an ISTP will be. Now, this isn't to say that every ISTP out there is a mechanic, construction worker, etc., 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 etc. This is, of course, untrue. There are ISTPs who can be fashionistas. There are ISTPs who are, in fact. There are ISTPs who are in the movie industry. There are ISTPs everywhere, just like every MBTI type is, well, everywhere. It's just whether or not they flourish and how they're flourishing in that area that depends on how they are that type. And why did they decide to go into such a thing? Now, the reason why I bring up construction or crafting relating stuff is because ISTPs, from every ISTP I have seen, has enjoyed building something. Whether it's something small or something big, I have never met an ISTP who did not enjoy creating something. Whether it be something on the web, whether it be editing, whether it be, building. They enjoy the art of the craft simply because they want to understand it. And not only do they want to understand it, they're fascinated by it. They're fascinated by the patterns. They're fascinated by the senses. They're fascinated as to how everything works and is put together. And this leads them to do a lot of hobbies. So, for example, my dad, who is an ISTP, as I mentioned before, he does electrical work, he does mechanical work, he does engineering work, he does the technical work, he does computer work, he does kind of architectural type work. It's more like on a minor scale, not like the greater scale that other are they called architects? No, there's got to be something I'm missing here. Anyways, he is focused on so many different things. And the irony is that the things he is not focused in, he is actually very bad at and does not care about at all. Writing, he's not very good at it. I'm sure there are ISTPs who are great at it. Cooking, he does very minor stuff, doesn't interested. He would rather have me cook. Laundry, same thing, not his thing. His thing are in like the 10 to 20 different things he already does, which also includes his hobby of playing with sound, even though he has some issues with that now. So because of all of this, I can safely say that ISTPs will find some kind of DIY or DIY? Yeah, do it yourself. Yeah, DIY projects and or life hack projects, not the life hacks that you'll see online, but typically something that they might find fascinating enough that they'll want to try, reverse engineer, and play with. Beyond that, they are often seen as very stoic people. They don't show their emotions all that well, much like many other thinker types out there. ISTPs seem to be, for some reason or another, especially in their younger years, seem to be very broody, even though they're like some ISTPs who are absolutely comical and hilarious comedians who know how to make rooms laugh. But they are very typically emotionally reserved. They don't show their emotions easily. Their actions of love are, well, just that, actions of love. They would rather do than say. They would rather show than tell. They would rather give than speak. I think you're getting my point here. And with that being said, they can also, whatever they go into, and because they're honed in with their senses, much like an ISFP, ISTP, no, ISFP, ESFP, ESTP, they are also able to notice what works with stuff. So they can like look at a person's fashion and go like, that one doesn't work, that one does. They're able to go into a room and be like, that works, that doesn't. They're able to look at wood and see what goes together. They're able to look at many things and see what goes together. And this is why if you genuinely ask an ISTP's advice, and if you usually see them dressed somewhat even though they may not show it, they'll probably have some very good advice to give you as to what works well and what doesn't and why. Oh boy, will they tell you why. And that's the other thing I want to talk about with ISTPs. A lot of people seem to think that they don't talk much. This is a misconception. Every type will talk a lot depending on the subject that you give them. And if you want to get an ISTP talking to you for hours, ask them about their craft. Ask them about what they're doing. Ask them about how they're doing it. Ask them about what they're interested in. And then be prepared for like standing there 2 hours being completely tone deaf as they start speaking mechanical jargon that you have no idea what they're saying. It's happened to me more than once. And sometimes they do it without like even caring. They'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, and this is the reason why you need to do this, and this is why you need to put these things together, and this is why these other people suck, because they're not doing this thing, and it's just like, I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? I don't know what? You're what? In the what? And like, it just... They are very detailed in that manner, not like small details like an ISTJ or an ISFJ may like see, but they are very detailed. Plus, there are a lot of ISTPs who are interested in sports for, various reasons, but they may be more interested in playing than watching sports. And if they are interested in watching sports, it's usually for a kind of relaxing thing. It's not all they're going to be doing, but it is part of their, I guess, MO oftentimes. I guess stereotypically not a lot of ISTPs I know do watch sports, but I also know that there are a lot of ISTPs who do, so I'm guessing that there are both types who do for various different reasons. It's just ISTPs tend to stereotypically be thrown into the person on the couch watching nothing but sports. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Don't ask me. I'm not the one who created the stereotype. Jeez. Moving on. There is a softer side to ISTPs that they would rather not be caught dead with. They will take this to the grave if they have the choice, they will take it with them to the grave, because they do not it is a form of embarrassment if if people catch them doing these things. ISTPs will play cute dating sims because they find it cute. ISTPs will collect plushies because they find them cute. ISTPs will make those same plushies because they find them cute and then just hide them in their closet and hope nobody notices. And then maybe sell it on Etsy or whatever. Some ISTPs may be absolutely shameless about this. I'm just saying this out of the bat. But a lot of them, from what I've seen, tend to want to hide it, and it's hilarious. ISTPs will typically want to watch cute shows. ISTPs do have a kind of romantic heart that people don't think that they have. Kind of like a hopeless romantic type of heart. Oh, I'm calling you out, ISTPs. I am calling you out. And you're probably internally screaming right now, going, how could he, how could he, how could he, how could he, how could he? And no, this is this channel now. And then ISTPs also will watch things like MLP, My Little Pony, for those of you who are uninitiated into it, even though it's now ended. ISTPs will watch things like Tinkerbell. Yeah, I see you. I see you. ISTPs will watch things like The Wings Club and other girly shows. Oh, you better believe I see you. And why do they do this? It's pleasing to the senses. Why wouldn't they do it? If it's got good story, if it's got good art, if it's got good whatever, if it feels nice, and if they're able to dissect it and feel good about it, of course they're gonna do it. And they're going to, have that guilty secret pleasure that everybody has, that, they'd rather never be caught dead with. So that's the adorable part of ISTPs, that they'd rather you never, ever run into. And lastly, let's talk about a side of ISTPs that some people may not realize. Aside from, the secret that I've already given away, in which each and every single ISTP has screamed out in absolute horror, but I digress. The last bit of an ISTP I want to talk about is their despite their aloofness, so to speak, they will care. They will secretly care. They will pay attention secretly. They are tsundere. That is the best word I can describe an ISTP sometimes. They will give you something and they'll be like, I'm not doing it because I like you or anything. Shut up. Leave me alone. And, oftentimes ISTPs are also attracted to this kind of personality. Oh, yes, you better believe I see you. You can't hide from me. You cannot hide from me. And because of their caring nature and because of their, desire to be, seen as tough or aloof or, broody or whatever it is that they want to be seen as. Now, granted, some of them are absolutely shameless and don't give a hoot. And, a lot of girls will be, the stereotypical tomboy if they're an ISTP, ESTP, and whatever. That's obvious stuff is obvious. But these are also the same people who will go to the next city over to find you a gift if they care about you. Or if they can't find the gift, they will make you a gift. Or if they don't want to buy you a gift, they'll make you a gift. Or, just to be like super caring, they'll be like, oh yeah, I made this for you. Or what can I make for you? And it's cute. It is honestly cute. And yeah, no, I'm calling you out, ISTPs. I'm calling you out. And that is a secret side to ISTPs that some people may not realize, but kind of smirk whenever they see it in the ISTP. Aside from that, ISTPs do tend to be generally the people who are like cooler than you types of people, or like, oh, check out, I'm so distant and cool, like check me out, and all the girls are like, ah, but in reality they're like, I want to talk to that cute girl. How can I talk to that cute girl? Oh, she's super cute. I should watch that cute show over there. So just some thoughts I have about the ISTP, and with that is, I guess, today's episode on the general overviews, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.